when she died, it was a huge moment for the country. You're a kind of anglicised Italian. You're Italian, but you've obviously spent a lot of time in England. What was that moment like for you? How did you hear that she died?
Well, I saw her, the last time I saw her was a Royal Ascot, and she obviously quite frail. She couldn't get up and down the stairs, and they made a little room next to the paddock so she could watch the racing. And to a point, I nearly took the horse inside the little booth to show the horse. And yes, and you know, you always feel she's immortal. And when it does happen, it's a shock, you know, because I felt she was immortal. And I remember we were meant to race at Doncaster that night, and the race got cancelled, quite rightly so. Yeah, and it just...
How did you hear?
I think we just heard on the radio, I think, or from a phone call. And yeah, just...
I felt quite emotional when
it just kind of was a shock, real shock. Like I said, because, you know, I always felt that she was immortal. And, you know, we lost a great person, great monarch. Well, a great person, and, you know, I'm the first one to say that I met her for 30 years. You know, she really touched me, the way she made you feel and the way she was. And, you know, I'm not the only one. I mean, I would say millions of people feel the same.
But actually very few would have had the access you did.
Yeah.
Or that kind of relationship, because she loved horse racing almost as much as anything else in her life.
Yeah, you know, I probably saw it at the side of it. I mean, a lot of times I saw her in events, and she would make a detour to find somebody into racing because she kind of find that exciting. Yeah, I'm very lucky, and also the new king. You know, I was, you know, I never really met King Charles like I did this year. You know, he came to Royal Ascot 5 days straight. To a point on day 5, I was invited to have lunch at Windsor Castle on day 5, and I did the ride on the carriage, and he turned around to me and said, you know, my mum would have been proud to see me racing 5 days straight. So I think we got him interested in horse racing, and it's good because it's nice to keep the tradition, and especially now that we are in this jockey's room. I feel very proud that he's beginning to enjoy racing.
You recently went to the jungle in Australia, competed in I'm a Celebrity. You were the first to be kicked out of there, which I think is probably a blessing. I don't know why you even went in.
Me too.
But it's like, at least you haven't got to stay in there with these. Was it even remotely an enjoyable experience, or is it just as awful as I imagine it is? Well,
it was exactly what I thought. You know, you've got to have a mindset. And if you got a chink in your arm or any weaknesses, it's going to find you. You know, it's hostile where we are. You sleep in a bench. You eat rice and beans. The dongy, or the toilet, I used to call it, is all on the ground, more or less. The humidity and the loneliness, you know, because you're there by yourself. Okay, you're with other people, but you got no watch, no contact from the outside world.
How did you feel about being the first to leave?
I don't really know what was televised on TV because I was there 24 hours and they cut it down into 1 hour. And talking to the people outside, you know, we're all interested in politics, Nigel Farage, or people arguing. You know, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. I had a great time in there, but they never air showed all the fun times that I had. You know, they were more interested about what Nigel Farage or Britney Spears' sister were going to say.
Of course,
you know. They didn't care what a jockey were going to say. Yeah. So, but you know, it was an experience, and I've done it. I ticked that box, and that's it.
You also were named in the top 6 nominees for the Sports Personality of the Year on the BBC, a very prestigious, and you've won it many years ago. To be in the top 6 when you're 53 years old, of the top 6 sports people in Britain, is pretty incredible, huh?
I think the only one born when I started riding was Stuart Broad.
Yes.
All the others weren't even born. It's quite scary. Yeah, amazing. Obviously, this late in my career. And also, racing is not a football, cricket, tennis, rugby sport. followed, or like the Olympics. So it's a great privilege for me to be nominated. And also for my sport, because I promote myself, but I also like to promote my sport.
How did you feel about a member of the women's Lionesses team winning, given they actually hadn't had a very good year?
Yeah,
they lost the World Cup, they didn't qualify for the Olympics, and they still won it, having won it the year before.
Maybe I should lose a bit more to get in the top three.
Well, should it only go to people who've actually won something that year?
Yeah, I
I
saw your podcast you did. I agree with you, but even Stuart Broad, I mean, amazing. It's last year. He's won everything, and he didn't win it either. But it's what people watch or like. So, but
are we becoming, Frankie, a country which has moved from celebrating great champions and winners to now we almost celebrate losing? That's what it feels to me. We've moved as a society from a really good...
The underdog.
Yeah, but it's not even the underdog. Just, okay, you've lost. We're going to give you a participation prize, right?
Well, perhaps so. I must say, all those 6 nominees, including myself, I mean, we all we've done something great. But, it's down to the public to decide. And I'm not bitter. Like I said, already been nominated, I feel like a winner.